my goodness. Okay. Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome to episode number 149 of our blind playthrough of Blueprints. I have nothing open on my computer because I don't have the game ready. I don't have Photoshop ready. Let me paint you a picture. Yesterday, as I am recording this episode, I ran to the Discord and I said, guys, I can't do it. I can't solve this. And that may still be true. But I asked a question on Discord yesterday, and then I said, hey, feel free to give me some answers, but take your time. And so the Discord, I believe, is still debating. Oh my God, my lights aren't even correct in here because I wasn't prepared to record. I'm so excited. Okay, the Discord is still debating. As I have been sitting here waiting, because I told them to take their time, as I've been sitting here waiting for the Discord to come up with some hints, I have become frustrated. Maybe my frustration showed in the last episode, but I have become frustrated with myself because this feels like a finish line, and I want to finish well, and I'm not. I want to finish well. Don't make that sexual. I want to finish well, and I'm not. I don't feel like I'm finishing well. I feel like I'm, for a number of reasons, I'm upset with myself. This feels doable, and I can't do it, and that upsets me. So, I sat on that frustration for a couple of hours yesterday, and then today, this morning, I woke up and I said, screw the rest of my plans. I am going to look through my Blueprints notes, and I'm going to comb through everything I have in this game. And I'm going to at least exhaust. I'm going to do what it's really hard to do on camera, which is just sit here in silence and read every single note in my notebook. And I didn't get very far. I got through like 6 or 7 pages. But I didn't get very far because the reason I'm hitting record right now is that I found a singular circled word on my in my notebook. And I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to try to show it on camera. That right there says rain. So let's spend some time on camera trying to think this through. I think it's very possible I still may fail. And if I do, then I'll have the clues from Discord whenever they come in. But let's think through this. I noticed a couple other things in my notebook too. Here's what I started thinking. Let's start with the rain thing because I don't actually know. We'll get to the rain thing last. I noticed a couple things in my notebook. First and foremost, I'm pretty sure the Alzara first vision, or the Alzara prophecy, includes at some point a door marked by Rogue Moon, locked but no key. Then I have a note that says Rogue Moon, Moon of the North. That's interesting to me for obvious reasons because we have at the end of the blue house, we have a door that is marked, not by a rogue moon, because I think we can go to my notes right now, but I think the rogue moon is slightly different. The rogue moon appears in this map. Not that one. This one? Nope, not that one. Yes, nope. It's in one of the maps. It's not that one. It is this one. Yeah. So Devoted Moon and Rogue Moon. And the Devoted Moon actually does appear to be a crescent moon from the Is eclipse direction, because this is the thing that is on the door in eclipse, which means north eclipse. We know that for a couple of reasons. We know that because in means north, Ovin, Navari, towards the north and a new future. We know that because I think the clock tower Yep. In eclipses only appear in the north sky. Man, it's amazing what familiarizing yourself with your notes will do. So, the moon of the north is interesting to me. An in eclipse, I don't know that means the moon of the north. Like that. The rogue moon and the in eclipse, I don't know that they're the same thing, but they are moons in the north, you know, vaguely relevant. So that was interesting to me. Alzara Vision 1, we may want to look back at. Here's the second thing I noticed. Sorry, the second thing I noticed was that in eclipse. Maybe we should care more about the in eclipse part of the puzzle. There's a door at the end. It's marked with an in eclipse, a northern eclipse. That has to matter in some way, shape, or form. Third thing I noticed, thinking about things that look to the north, rogue like the moon of the north. This clock tower note. This is actually on my list of questions for the end of the game. I have it written down. What does clock tower note mean? I think that question in my notebook references this note and not the blue memo. But because frankly, for lack of a better description, this note, I don't understand the purpose that it plays. And so I'll ask, well, it says sacred. That's probably part of it. That's probably the answer, is the fact that it's sacred. Okay, well, maybe not. This may not have anything to do with our current puzzle, but I have never understood what the actual body of the poem here means. This fourth thing, I don't know. Weird. That was the third thing I noticed. And then I was scrolling through my notebook and I saw rain. And the part that says rain says first word, last word. That part's scratched out. Then it says goodbye rain and ruler. Hello something. So I don't remember where this comes from, but I'm remembering right now that I believe rain and ruler are the same word in Irasian, and I can't remember where this is from. And I think the word is Yena. I don't know how I can find this, but we're going to have to find it. It might be from Final Exam. It might be somewhere else. Regardless, tint of truth, hue of wisdom, shade of rain. The shade of rain is the weird one, right? So maybe if we can find what Yena, if we can trace all of the steps related to Yena, we can find find a place to start here. And maybe not, because maybe I'm still barking up the wrong tree, but we'll see. The first things first that we should do here is just the shade of Yena, right? Is there a shadow here that makes... Is there a shadow inside of the blue house here? The shade of Yena? The shade of rain? My understanding of who this person is always incorrect. I believe it says... I believe this is like J. Ari Yena. Is that correct? Is it in here too? Caitlin J. Ari. The princess. Was endowed with her mother's surnames, J. Ari Yena. So this is Caitlin J. Ari. This is J. Ari, the ruler, or Yena, the... you know, wife to Prince Rolf. I don't know. Is my guess. So the shade of rain... I think in some way is related to that. Now, what we do with that is, of course, an interesting question, right? One of the things that I really want to do is look at the foyer in both the actual house and the blue house. It is in the blue house, right? Because the shadow here, like, this room was designed in such a way that there is a very prominent shadow. So looking at the shadow might be very interesting. Is foyer in... Oh boy. My computer is lagging. Is foyer in this house? I feel like it is, right? I feel like it is, and I feel like it's... Be a lot easier if we just removed all the letters, huh? There we go. Foyer, upper left. Okay. So, we can look at it either in the real house or in the blue house, but I think that's a fine place to start. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I like this because even if we fuck up here, even if I fail, I found something to look at. A shade of rain. And we have probably some hints from Discord. Sorry, my dogs got excited. We have a hello, by the way. Why is that there? I have no idea, honest to God. Hope that's not important, because I really don't have time to think about that right now. Even if we fail here, we do have clues on the way from Discord. I'm excited to see what they come up with. I really hope I don't completely invalidate their work, because they were telling me in Discord yesterday, they were like... I asked the question at like 9 in the morning. I was like, hey, so... would love to get some help. Here's kind of what I'm thinking. And they were like, great, sweet. So I'm just not going to get any work done today, huh? I was like, well, I'm sorry. Let's see if we can get foyer in here. To do that, I probably want to click Banner of the King. Does foyer have a cost? It does. So we're going to need some gems if we also want to get secret passage outside. There's a vestibule. We can click storeroom. That gives us the 2 gems that we need. A shade of rain. A shade of rain is just interesting because it's like... Does it... So it can mean a couple things. I think looking at the shadow makes sense because the shadow is so prominent in foyer. I was just asking Megan last night how she pronounces this word, and she was like foyer, and I was like, oh shit. Okay, well, don't worry, I've been mispronouncing it for a while. But I think you could pronounce it either way, right? Like the original, you know, like the French or whatever. So shade of rain could mean probably the color of rain. It could mean the color of ruler. It could mean the... If I take Great Hall, then it gets out of the way, which is kind of nice. It could mean the shadow of ruler or reign. The other thing that I always think about with this is we seek what's in the shade of truth. We seek what's in the shade of truth, the thing that's in the bunker. That is a weird... That line is weirdly kind of here. We seek what's left of the lives we cast. So we seek what's... There's a shade of rain in the shade of truth. There's the tint of truth. Like, We seek what's in the shade of truth. Wait, hold up. What the fuck? Can you just do that? Wait. We seek what's in the shade of... Truth is all the way up here. You can't, like, connect them, right? I need to leave the path thing alone for now. Paths are an entirely different... We'll get there or we won't. I don't know. Okay, so this was a dead end. One thing at a time. Now, the next question is, and I don't remember where this comes from. Where does... In my notebook, when I have first, last word... Goodbye rain, hello water is basically what I have written down. Where the fuck did that come from? Oh, I do also have a note right here that says name of person in foyer. In foyer. J-R-E-N-A. But where does... Oh my god, it's on my note. It's on my note. My note literally says from postcard number 4. So that's good. My note says from postcard 4. Lorja Yena. Ajlor Luna. The rain, the puddles, then ponds that dot the countryside make this place feel different than home. Lorja, which is hilariously like the first last word. And then Ajlor, which is like the first word. Lore means word, right? Lore means word. We did all this math 500 episodes ago. But I believe lore means word. Ja means... Let me go to my classroom. We'll just... I just want to make sure we're not missing any steps here in case any of the, steps along the way are important. So first... Sorry. Word last. And then first word. Word last, first word. Meaning the final word in a conversation. Goodbye. In the first word in a conversation. Hello. That's how I interpret it. Ajlor Yena. Yena meaning ruler. Yena meaning rain. J-R-E. Is there any way that J-R-E itself is a word that has... I mean, array, A-R-E-I, means future. J, I don't see on this list, and I don't see it. House history. Whoa! That's cool. Anyways. Okay. Let's go keep trying to draft foyer. A shade of rain to pass the light. Ideally, we are probably looking for a color here. In terms of an answer. What a shade of rain means. A shade of ruler. A shade of J-R-E. Yena. A shade of something. However, we don't want to limit ourselves to thinking that. Tunnel I don't want. But if I grab it, then it's out of the draft pool. So I guess there's that. Fuck it. Sure. Okay. Come on, give me foyer. Give me foyer. Aquarium is also in the draft pool, so if we remove it, then... The one thing we can't take is secret passage, because if we take secret passage, then we can't draft it outside. Which I would like to do. And by can't, I mean can't do it today. We can always just come back tomorrow. East Wing Hall, sure. There's no resources in East Wing Hall. Just keep going. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the shadow, the shade. The shade on this one has a window because we drafted it up against the wall. J.R.E. Yenna. Can you get behind? Can't, like, get behind, can you? Be crazy if you could walk backwards. Does the shadow of the bottom of the pedestal look any different? Not really. There's a lantern here, which is kind of funny to think about. The lanterns are all different now. You've got a necklace, which I think the necklace itself is kind of shaped very similar to the emerald bracelet gems. Is this person I just had a crazy thought. The normal question I was going to ask is this person you? You know, the mother of Caitlyn J.R.E. The hairstyle is very different. Then I looked at the hairstyle and I thought, what the fuck? It's not my mom, right? I mean, it's... I think it's different enough that it's not my mom. It's just, Okay, so then the next question becomes, is this person... This is the moon pendant. This is the emerald bracelet. It's not you. It doesn't look like her ladyship, you know, as she's young. This is Baroness Orave. Right? I believe this is Baroness Orave. It's possible it's not. One of my real... I don't think that I'm face blind, but I do really struggle with this kind of thing where you're like, is that the same person? I don't know. This is why I'm always thankful for, like, mustaches and very distinct hairdos, because I'm like, that's probably a different person. The shadow, the shade of J.R.E. Sorry, the shade of Yenna. Shade of ruler, the shade of rain. The shade of ruler. The last thing I wanted to look at here was this. Yeah, so this is Baroness Orave. This photo that is in bedroom is different than this photo, but is confirmed. Clara, aka her ladyship, my mother. I love a, like, I wear an iconic necklace. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the design decision to have a person, like, wear an iconic necklace. What is my mother's necklace? I should know this, right? Is it a swan? I feel like it's a swan. Here's the crazy thought that I had. I was like, it's not my mother, right? Because my mother's missing. So, like... Is that a fucking crazy thought? Can I remove this bust? Because if I could, and I could take it to room 46, This is a wild thought. And I had the idea a long time ago to take power hammer to one of these. See that little red right there? If you could take the power hammer to this, then you could take the bust. There's a missing I hope I'm using the word bust correctly. What item would you use? Would you use a... Like, if you were to try and get this off, would you use a... Power hammer? Jackhammer, probably. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know what to do next. I think I'm closer. Shade of Rain, this feels right. Knowing that rain equals ruler. I do think... Fuck, I need to click a button. I do think going... I'm gonna note down something. First off, on my to-do list... Can I remove J-R-E bust? Question mark? Room 46 question mark? I should have come up with that idea a long time ago. I don't think the shadow here really has anything to... I feel like that was a strikeout. I don't see anything in the shadow there. I wish I would have drafted it along this wall because the shadows are much more clear against these walls than they are against these windows, but... So I would say for this run, our options are this. I can either go out to the blue house and I can try to draft foyer and see if... Or I can go to foyer in the upper left and see if there are any shadows or anything there. I can also try to get a workshop here and some items to see if I can break this thing off, which would be a weird thing to do. But could be fun. Shovel, battery pack, and broken lever for a jackhammer. We have 54 footsteps, so like at the very least we can keep going until we run out of gems that I will eventually need. Unfortunately, I think secret passage is 1 gem, right? Let's check. Secret passage is 1 gem. 1 gem. So I need to have at least 1 gem for the future. We're kind of cooking, and by cooking I mean we're finally doing something different. If I take this, I'm out of gems, which is bad. I should probably take this. I've been staring at the same Photoshop document for a long time, and it has begun to wear on me because I'm not getting anywhere. And lack of progress is disheartening, right? Like, always. No matter how much you try to coach yourself up that it's fine to not solve it or not figure it out. If I could get commissary here, I think there might be a shovel in spare green room. I could be wrong. I don't remember. I could maybe get something good from commissary. I need shovel, battery pack, and broken lever. Or sledge, battery pack, and broken lever. So we could get sledgehammer here just to see if it's maybe eventually helpful. That won't hurt us. That won't hurt us in terms of footsteps. Okay. We'll keep going. It feels good to be back in this house. Weight room, lose half your steps kind of sucks here. But it sometimes has a broken lever. I could be wrong about that. I mean, there's this, but I thought maybe there was a broken lever occasionally sitting right there. Oh, it's right here. Let's go. I'm not crazy. I'm, you know, I'm normal amounts of crazy. We have a locked card door, which is bad. We have 2 gems left. That's unpassable. Vestibule would use all of our gems. So I think we actually have to take coat check, which sucks. Closed exhibit could have an item, but I don't think it's going to have battery pack. Battery pack we should get from workshop. Shovel we should probably get from spare room. Let's just go through this door and see what it is. Damn. That's pretty bad, actually. That's 3 bad ones. So, I'm going to take archives and ignore this puzzle for now. We'll come back. We'll come back to this puzzle for sure. I don't know why I picked archives over the other ones. It's just, I thought there was, at least archives has some junctions to it. Let's go out of the house and into the last day of Blessing of the Monk that we have. Nothing I do can happen here, right? Do I need to take, like, Scorched, Burning Glass to you? Scorched Sundial? Okay, let's go out of the house, into the thing. "22 footsteps. We have the gems. This should be fine. We can at least go to foyer and see if anything is different there. The funny thing is, I only got part of the way through reviewing my notes when I... Oh, that's... I was going to say, I didn't realize it did that out here, too. But luckily, we know which one it is. That could have been bad. I mean, it would never have been that bad because we would always know which one it is, but I didn't think about the fact that archives affects the draft out here, too. This may be a weird episode where I record part of it now and part of it later. Because if I don't find anything out here, what I may do is I may go back and review the rest of my notes. Get all the way back through it. Because it was honestly really helpful to me. This is the wrong way, Ryan. What the fuck are you doing? To get there, you should probably just go all the way back left. Or back right. However, if we step right here, we avoid losing footsteps from the, like, atelier front door area. We can walk around it. We go all the way along the back right, the eastern file, up to the second to last hallway, or the third to last hallway, and then go all the way left. We should find foyer. So yeah, I may go back and just keep reviewing my notes. Honestly, I'm more productive at reviewing my notes if I'm off camera because I don't just say shit. There are no statues in here. I mean, there's no statues, and yet I also can't walk through. There are big lanterns, the same lanterns as before. Like, or at least very similar to the lanterns inside. Okay. Well. In here, there really does not appear to be anything mind-boggling. So, let's do this. There's still a chance if I go back inside of the house that I could make the other thing work. The other idea I had work. Sorry, I just walked out of here and then got completely lost. So we're gonna retreat and go back. I kind of like that my Blessing of the Monk is running out because I will be honest with you, the other thought that I had for this episode was if my Blessing of the Monk runs out, then I have the freedom to do whatever I want with my next day in the house, my next days, which means we could try to track down this missing upgrade disc while I continue to pontificate through Lantern Light. So, maybe that's what we'll do. If we, like, our Blessing of the Monk is going to end today, meaning tomorrow we're very free to do what we want. And maybe that means try to find the missing upgrade disc. Maybe that means try to... Fuck, I went the wrong way already and wasted some footsteps. There is the shovel. So I was correct about that. We now have shovel and broken lever, meaning we could make jackhammer if we could just get workshop. We would then also need the footsteps to get back to where we are going. Plus, we are drafting at a disadvantage right now because we don't have all three options visible. What we should do is check what workshop costs. Nothing. So if we have any archived... 0 cost. Oh, I forgot about the lunchbox. Archived 0 cost rooms. It is possible that could be it could be workshop. The shade of truth. A shade of truth, not the shade of truth. A shade of truth. Sorry, I just said truth and I meant the other one. A shade of rain. That's what I meant to say. A shade of rain. Okay. Could take this. Could also take a junction. We'll take the junction for now. Then we'll take this one. Workshop. Oh my god. Battery pack, please. Oh, it's a magnifying glass. Fuck. Okay, well, in that case, I think we missed our opportunity. We probably should have bought magnifying glass because then it's one less item that can appear right here. But you don't know these things when you play the game. So I can't make what I want. But that's okay. So I think that's probably the end unless... I don't know how to... How do you get a... I mean, you could get it from, like, bedroom closet. Like, how do you get an item that you don't have, like a battery pack? That's a tough item to find. To be honest with you. I don't think I can get it, probably. I don't know where else you can get it other than, like, bedroom closet or, like, outdoors from tool shed or whatever it's called. Tool shed. Indoors, probably from bedroom closet, right? Or workshop is the big one. And I just kind of really hoped I would get it there. Okay. I think that means this day is probably done. The only thing I can think of that might make our day easier tomorrow is... We can keep going, though. We have lots of footsteps. Would be calling it a day inside of break room, because we may be spending our time inside of the house tomorrow. And if that is true, then... having a key card would be really nice. Okay, that was a dead end. So the problem is I can't draft a break room in a lot of places. Let's go all the way down here. Break room. Sure. We'll do Geist Bedroom. Break Room does not have a cost, right? Break Room gives you keys, so it's in the key category. No, it's not. Because I think I upgraded it. Yeah. It definitely doesn't have a cost. God, my hunger to solve this game does not go away. It just really does not. It definitely goes through periods where it is discouraged, but the minute I've got another breadcrumb to follow. Rain, ruler. Rain has a second meaning, ruler. My honest thought the minute I saw a shade of rain was I need to find out what rain means. Like what I need to walk back through the same thought process. It comes from a postcard. The idea that we learned that Yenna means both rain and ruler. No, we learned that Yenna means rain and ruler from somewhere else. My thought was I need to follow the thought process again. Then my thought was we need to do the same thing with a tint of truth, a hue of wisdom. Don't answer the puzzle, the riddle as is. Look for the deeper secondary meaning. A shade of rain could be the shade of ruler, which means something different. The tint of truth could be the blue tint of truth. I don't know. Hue of wisdom, I don't know yet, but where did I find... Now, hold up. Let me just quickly scan through these. Where did I find that Yenna means rain and ruler? Was it in a blue tint? SHS was born 3 years after HS. Don't know what that means. I don't really want to check all of this stuff, like... on camera, because that's what I want to do off camera. It's easier for me and quicker for you. But I'm trying to remember where I found that Yenna equals ruler and rain. It's either final exam or here, I feel like. Foundation is always the first floor plan. It's kind of interesting. The titles are synonyms. That's from the gallery. We still don't know what Swan Song means as a memo, as an acronym. I need to reread all the letters. I need to reread Curse of Blackbridge. I need to... This one I still have no idea. The observatory memo, the largest planet in the night sky, is named after the Paragon of Ash. Yenna. Ruler, rain. Okay, it wasn't there. So I'll find it later. Let's go see if we can draft break room, and then we'll call it a day, and then I'm going to go look at my notes some more. And maybe I'll come back and we'll... It's not our mom, right? The thing is, it doesn't really look like... Princess like Prince Rolf's JRE. And Caitlyn JRE is a baby, and so I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who that is exactly, and I never have. Break room? We got break room. That's cool. Imagine if we got battery pack here somewhere. God, it's good to get to draft rooms again. Should we watch this? I actually need to find a way to watch this, so we could do this right now. I think the easiest way is on security, because if I try and watch this right now... Wait, can I not? Can you only access these again via security? I guess I forgot about that. That is another thing we could do in the next day is go, Jesus Christ. Is go look at the security footage. That's what I was trying to say. All right, we're going to call it a day right here. And I am going to call this part of the episode right here. I'll be back soon. I'm going to go take a deep look through my notes again, and I'll be back when I'm done refreshing myself. Bye. Hello, it is me, literally 30 seconds later. Hugh could just mean the other Hugh, right? Hugh? A hue of wisdom? There's another Hugh literally on this page. Hugh equals Hugh? Question mark? I feel like we're finally getting somewhere. I already wrote down Yenna equals both reign and ruler. So, and then what about tent equals tent? Question mark? I don't know what a hue of a house of wisdom would be. But that's a thought I had about 30 seconds after I stopped recording. Okay, I'm going to go back to my notes now. See ya. Listen, we are leaving no stone unturned. I know that Discord in their most recent hint told me not to return to this letter, but I did return to it because I'm rereading literally everything in my notes, and I noticed something that I think probably has no real purpose. Also, I switched into a blue button-up shirt that I haven't worn this shirt in years. But it has little stars on it. Isn't that cute? Anyways, you got to wear a little bit of blue. And I realized that I started this episode without blue. So there's something in this letter that I just realized for the first time. Do you want to take a guess what it is? It's this red question mark. To my first dearest, our day, our night, our world, toward us will gift my house to the south, something, something. This is the dawn of your future without me, dawn of my future without you. First, I will bid that you heed my word. You are always my dearest. I love you, basically. The house Sinclair is now without you. The house Epson is now without you. Forget your dream of the North. Your name J-Ari. That's what this... I thought it was one word. Jiri. But it is J-Ari. And I don't know what that means. But it's forget... Like, I don't know what it means in the context of this sentence. Your name, J-Ari. Your future, toward the south. Finn, away. Away from Finn. Your... dream name away toward Iraja, toward the south and a new future. Ovis Navari. Anyways, I don't know exactly what it means, but I did see JRE in here and I was like, holy shit. That's cool. That's the whole idea. That's the whole I just wanted to tell you guys that I saw that and I was like, hey. JRE. Anyways. Holy shit, this is cool. This is just a cool piece of lore. In the very first letter that you get in the game, Simon, welcome to Mount Holly, it lays out the very basic rules of the house. And at the very end, it says, your grandmother used to say. So unfortunately, that is not Baroness Orave. Lady Orave is my great-grandmother. Right? Your grandmother would be Clara Epson. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. Is that not exactly what it says? In the atelier? It does. Yeah, the atelier says, don't go where the path leads. The rest of the second half of this is abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. I am going to mark that. Because I think that is worth remembering. It's so cool. God, it's amazing the stuff you can find if you look back at every single piece of... Oh. My camera freaked out. If you look back at every single piece of information in this game. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. Is that what it said? Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. Yes. From starting letter. Cool. We'll save that so that we know where. One of the important things I realize in this game is tracking where the information comes from. Okay. Anyways, I do think it is possible that the tint of truth could just be blue because blue memos equal true. Like that is in the game, if a note is blue, it is true. And that, assuming it doesn't mean like, maybe tint is a play on words, maybe truth is a play on words, maybe it's not related to any of this shit. I do think the simplicity of blue memos equaling true could be it could be that simple. Okay, so have I ever tried putting the watering can, still water tints blank books, to this? I don't think so, right? And I don't think it makes sense because this is a letter from Herbert, a person who never solved still water tints blank books. So how would he use the same type of invisible ink? Sorry, I'm burping. How would he use the same type of invisible ink that Baroness Lady Orave used on her puzzle? I don't think it makes sense. On the other hand, can you imagine if you applied the watering can to this and it appeared with more text? That would be kind of cool. I'm going to write it down just because it's a neat idea. Still water tints master bedroom note? Question mark? Am I crazy, or is it impossible to tell what my mother is wearing around her neck? I feel like none of the photos that I have let me see what she's wearing around her neck. And that is weird. This one, she's wearing like an ascot type thing. I think that's what that's called. I'll be honest, I don't know what that's called. There's no bust of her in room 46. This one, she is not wearing a necklace. Are there others? There's got to be others. Oh, there's the ones in archives, right? They don't have, so there's a necklace there. We can't see it. way too hard to see. Should I be taking a magnifying glass to her necklace? Like, I have a magnifying glass right here. I might write that down. At this point, there are no bad ideas. I don't think I'm solving through lantern light by looking at this, but magnifying glass to mom's necklace in archives, I think, is the place that I want to do it. I guess there are also her passport photos. I could look at that. They're going to be tiny. I mean, same thing. Same exact thing, where it's, these are the same photo every time. Huh, interesting. Okay. Anyways, something to note. Now, this is interesting. I got a little jump scared to see this here, this drawing. But this reminds me that, because I'm like, the moon, why is it here? This reminds me that that moon is also on the, it's over the fireplace inside of room 46, which is why it's on this note. It's on this note because, well, actually, no, it's not on this note because this person has never been, this is, I think these notes, this is a locker room note. I think this is Denny Ravane. I could be wrong. I think it's Denny Ravane trying to figure stuff out. And he would not have been inside of room 46. So why is this here? That is an in eclipse, yes. Why would he draw that there? How would he know that? Why? I can type. Why? Oh my god, my W key is not working. Why would Danny question mark draw the in eclipse? I don't know. But let's keep looking through the notes. Here's a small interesting thing. Rereading one of the Dovecote letters from my mom to Herbert after her marriage to my dad, she uses the Mahu life suits me, I think. She uses the word Mahu, which we know, Hu Am means house large house. But now we have an example of how the small house life suits me. We have an example of how that is used in a sentence. So when we hear these vying plans forge bacon crest among those blessed with a large house, you know, it fits just like this. So a little bit of confirmation. This is a tiny little breadcrumb in this note that helps us much later with the Hugh Am and May Hugh puzzle. So it was a treasure trove memo that tells us that Yena means both reign and ruler. Okay, cool. We found it. Now, hold on. This one is interesting. Memo 43. It is green and handwritten, which I believe means that it is false unless you change the color. A secret door lies hidden in the blue house. That is not a sentence that would have made sense to me back in the days of discovering this memo, which is why I called it Memo 43, true if blue question mark. But nowadays, I look at the phrase the blue house and I think, yeah, that's a thing I'm familiar with. So the question is kind of, in my mind, the question is, does our in eclipse door mean, does our in eclipse door count as a secret door or not? I'm going to write down find secret door in blue house on my to-do list, memo 43 in parentheses, and we're going to, depending on if we make progress on the, through lantern light, etc. But when we're a little bit further into the puzzle, we can look back on this memo and say, yes, it's definitely solved, or no, there's something here. Speaking of making progress on the puzzle, there is a update for you. As I've been, I've spent a lot of today. I've spent a ton of today looking through my notes and just rereading truly almost everything. I'm not quite done. I still need to reread plenty of stuff, but I've read a lot of things. And I'm working through the memos right now. As you can see, I'm just going through and this is also an interesting one. The monk waits behind the second chamber. However, as I've been going through these things and just rereading everything with an eye for anything, I'm specifically looking for help for anything in my notes or in my material that might help me solve through Lantern Light and Sketches Cast. But I'm also keeping an eye out for anything that's interesting to me at all, keeping an open mind. As I have done that, Discord has gotten back to me about a answer to my question. So I have right here a bunch of hints. I am avoiding thinking too much about that, though, because I may get to it in this episode, I'm not sure. I may just keep trucking along on my own with that as a backup. So I want you to know that the temptation is very real for me right now, because over there, I could in 2 clicks, I could get a hint, which could put me on the right track. And I very well may click it very soon. But it's important to me that this process that I have started of reviewing all of my notes with the goal of trying to get a better understanding of what a shade of rain means, what a tint of truth means, what a hue of wisdom means. It's important for me. I feel it's important for me to try and at least follow through on that before I maybe take that hint. So anyways, I'm going to keep reading. So here's a point in favor of a tint of truth equaling blue. Inside of Blueprints on page 4, Blueprints the book, the blueprints inside of that book says blue is, quote unquote, the only true color in my humble view. So that's interesting. I mean, I've been looking for the word true. You couldn't stand the tint. Speaking of, I've been looking for... Oh no, I've spent truly hours today looking for the words tint and shade and truth and wisdom and thinking. And now I'm a little bit scared. He couldn't stand the tint of a hallway or a shop. He couldn't stand the shade of trees the green rooms brought. Does that mean that shade equals green and tint equals orange or yellow? I don't know. If this book uses the word hue, I will be very scared. He seldom talked to others, for they rarely shared this view. He never went to town, nor saw the flags they flew. You know which game the prince instead would play? The one that made him happy whenever skies were gray? A game he had played in the house and on the grounds. Maybe you can guess from the clues that you have found. It was a game full of rooms and the stories that we climb about a house full of lies and the truth that one prince finds. Speaking of the lies we cast, and as you reader might already assume, the game is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A game about you and the plans that you made, about a blue prince and his blueprints. The blue game we just played. The true box does not always contain the prize. Okay. So this book does not include the word hue, as far as I'm aware. But it does include the word true, tint, shade, etc. And it's something for me to at least think about. I don't read this as like a very easy. I think this is a possibility. I don't think it's necessarily a solution, but I think it's a possibility. Maybe this book, if I think about it. I don't know. Here's something interesting. The Paragon line in this staff announcement. The third Paragon Rinna, that is the name of one of the angels. And it makes me think about the Paragon of Ash. Meaning I now know what this memo means, or at least I know kind of vaguely what it means. I can figure it out. Because I know the names of the planets based on here. Paragon of the third Paragon, Rinna. Rinna is the gardener angel. We're learning stuff. So the largest planet in the night sky is named after the Paragon of Ash. The largest planet here is Vea, which is but unfortunately many of them are. Sorry, what I'm trying to say is Vea is the like fourth, or I don't know if that's I think Vea is number 4 in the chapel, which is probably not the correct order in like the natural order of things. Danja is one of them as well. That's the farmer. So Paragon of Ash probably means I don't think Mora is actually the name of a. No, it is not. And I actually don't know what this one says. Mamora? Mora and Mamora? I don't know what that says. Fenmora? Mamora? So Vea is we know what this means now. Vea is one of the maids, one of the like cleaners. Vea, the planet, is named after Vea, the angel, for lack of a better word. One of the like maids or cleaners. Done. Cool. That is the actual answer. Ignore the notes below it. Let's see if I can get this whole thing selected. Why is it so hard to select literally everything? There we go. Control A. Done. Save. Done. A mystery solved. Was it the mystery we tried to solve in today's episode? No. Did I solve it today? Anyways, yes. In fact, it might be this one. That's the farmer. So, anyways, back to reading stuff. Okay, so my theory that the Blueprints book might in some way which was written way more recently than the Blue House existed. My theory, so it really doesn't make sense. My theory that the Blue Prince book might in some way be a key here is obviously false because the Red Prince book includes many of the same markers, like the same things. The Red Prince calls it the only true color. He says he had heard that the sky was not a red hue. He couldn't see beyond the red shade. So there's nothing in this book or the Blue Prince book that like they conflict against each other, right? Yeah. Where's the word shade? He'd heard the sky was not. Is the word shade in here? I promise you this whole time that I'm reading through all these things, I'm not just scanning for the words true, like wisdom, truth, shade, hue, tint, etc. Rain. But I do occasionally, if I get close to something that may work as a... I do occasionally look for it. Cool. Anyways, I don't know about the Blue Prince book or the Red Prince book. Probably not the answer. So I'm rereading the gardening book where Denny Ravane annotates his life and his poor decisions. And I'm starting to think maybe that I don't remember that the inn eclipse is on the northern door out of the antechamber in the actual house too. Because this appears right here as he is talking about like, hey, I've reached the objective that I've been working for. I took more than just my contract, which means he went through the door north of the antechamber. So every time I get excited to see this, it's possible that the reason I'm getting excited is because it's possible that the room 46 door in the real house took the design for its door from the door in the vestibule in the Blue House. I need to check. I don't remember, though, and I need to check that. I don't remember if the inn eclipse is on that door. So, anyways, I don't know. Okay. And with that, I have concluded a very long and laborious reconsidering of all of the facts. I have looked through literally everything, including Curse of Blackbridge. I have not read every single word, but I have read most of them and skimmed a couple of everything in my entire notes. Every book, every note that I've taken, every Photoshop document I've created. And I have not come to a greater understanding of the Through Lantern, Light, and Sketches cast. I do think I'm much closer than I was at the start of the episode. I think a shade of rain, a shade of Yenna, is probably a clue. I just don't know what it means. I think a House of Wisdom is probably a clue. I just don't know what it means. And I think what I do want to do is I want to see this. Unfortunately, we kind of have a problem, which is that I've spent most of my day, like I've spent truly probably close to probably like 4 + 5 hours looking through my notes today. So I am very tired and I feel like I've done, I feel like an academic who's done some research today. I've actually like looked through a lot of material today and did my best to like think abstractly about, could this be a piece of information that might let me understand what a House of Wisdom would mean? Could this mean something, et cetera, et cetera. And I've kind of come up short. But on the other hand, I still have dangling in front of me a tasty little piece of bait, a tasty little piece of information. I think it's very likely that I'm going to click on one of these right now because I can't wait. It would drive me nuts to wait. I'm going to click on one of them right now. I think it's very likely that acting upon any of this information or even figuring it out is going to have to wait for the next episode. But I am so curious to find it. So here's what I said. I said, Blueprints Council assemble. As always, don't read the following comment unless you're comfortable knowing what I did in today's episode. I posted that on Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. The question that I asked was this. I said, front seat question, aka I'm looking for an answer to this. Make it make fucking sense. I'm looking my goddamn mind out here. Oh, wait, that's... JK, here's what I actually wanted to say. I need help, and I trust you guys to give it to me in whatever fashion you choose. I'm striking out on Through Lantern Light, and I don't know if I'm a single inch or 1,000 light years from getting it. At this point, you all are experts at getting me over the hump. No pressure. Thank you for your efforts. I guess I do have a slight preference for the kind of hint that is piecemeal. It escalates as you go. But you already knew that. No deadline on that hint. Take your time. And then they wrote to me after having a lot of conversations. If you're not in our Discord, feel free to join. They wrote to me today. Luke says, the Blueprints Council has heard your cries. While you did not ask a specific front seat question, we do have the following for you. Reveal only once recording. While there has been much back and forth over this message, this is the 20th iteration. Everyone is in agreement on one thing. We believe in you. I'm rolling my eyes because I just spent 4 to probably 5 hours. It was probably at least 5 hours looking through all of my information. Okay, next. I'm going to click the next one. Below are 3 nudges, broken up into individual spoiler sections so that you may reveal only as little as you feel that you require on your journey. I love you guys for this. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to take 1 nudge right now because I think it's time. It's possible I could sleep on this and I'd have a new idea tomorrow. It's possible I could sleep on that and I'd have another idea and I would get there. But my hope is that maybe... Let's see what it says. Through Lantern Light contains 4 unique something. Four unique something. My guess is that the next word is like wordplay or like puns or like like word puzzles is my guess. Because my guess is that like shade or rain is actually Yena. You know, like I've talked about. Tint is actually tint. I don't know. Hue is actually hue. Maybe there's another one. Shadows past. Lies we cast. I'm going to click it right here. Through Lantern Light contains 4 unique colors. 4 unique colors. I've been operating under the assumption that it's 3. My question then would be, where does the color come from? I feel very strongly that this is color 1 of some color. I don't know what color it is. My very strong assumption is that this is color 2. Sorry for how ugly this looks. We'll just call it 1. Why don't we just do this? We'll just do that. My strong assumption is that that is 3. That I feel all very confident about. What part is next? Or before that? In shadows past, we seek what's left of the lies we cast. Oh boy, interesting. Interesting. A 4th color in this section. What does that mean? What part of it could it be? In terms of pure synonyms for color, tint, hue, and shade are the three closest. Light, kind of, which is here a couple times. 3 times, actually. But it doesn't have to be a synonym to mean a color or to indicate a color. It could absolutely be like shadows past could simply refer to the black Orinda past of this place. The lies we cast could be a reference to a color. There are 4. Everyone's in agreement on one thing. We believe in you. That's so sweet. And it's so wrong. I'm just kidding. It hurts to hear that after I've spent all day not getting it. This fucking game. I want to solve it so badly. Lower 3 nudges, broken up into individual spoiler sections so you can reveal only as little as you feel you require on your journey. My instinct would be to click this one next. I don't know that I'm going to do it right now. Through Lantern Light contains 4 unique colors. If I had to say it right now based on what we've learned, this would be blue because it's a tint of truth. Hue of Wisdom would be question mark. And then a shade of rain, a shade of ruler, could very well be purple because it is the Eurasian word for ruler. The Desolates family, I don't know that I've even said this today. I have a much better understanding of the Desolates family because of... I learned a lot today. Even if I didn't solve through Lantern Light, I learned so much. I synthesized my understanding of different parts of this game a lot better today because I had to look at every piece of information that I have, which was really cool. Every recorded piece of information I have plenty of information which is like ethereal. It's like it's bouncing around in my head. It's in my memory of what this room looks like or that room looks like or what I did 100 episodes ago. But every piece of recorded information I took a look at today. So House Desolates is exiled in this secret archive scrapbook. They fled to Erasia. They left public life and then announced the birth of their daughter, Caitlin J.R.E. In keeping with Eurasian tradition, I think that means because they live in Erasia, they kept with Eurasian tradition. Not necessarily that the Desolates are of Eurasian descent, although it's possible that the mother was Eurasian. I don't know. Long story short, they entered public life again, which is a problem. And then here, in this piece of dialogue, the Crown, aka Finn Ares, has requested that the asylum granted to the former House of Desolates be revoked. They request that Erasia revokes the asylum that they have given to the House of Desolates. So in my mind, the House of Desolates is an Orindian house. I can look at this from the history of Orindia, but I'm pretty sure this is true. They are an Orindian house prior to the launching of the new, prior to red flags flying. That's who they were. So, ruler is a word. Yena is a word in Arajan that means ruler. However, if we are looking at Je'ari Yena, then it could be black, a color that we don't see on here. There might be another option, but my guess here would be purple. I'm so sorry for how bad this looks in terms of it's impossible to read. That's interesting. You could start blue. You could end on purple. I really like the part of this whole thing I'm most confident on is a shade of rain to pass the light. That one right there means you have one color to get into vestibule. There are 3 colors here. You have to pick one to pass the light, to land into vestibule. I'm not 99% sure that that's correct. I'm 85, but that's the most confident I am in anything on this entire goddamn puzzle at this point. So where would the 4th unique color be? And what is a house of wisdom? What is a house of wisdom? I don't know. I mean, it's probably not red. Wisdom and Fen Aries, if we're assuming it's related to countries, which it definitely does not have to be. One thing I didn't check is if there's there's not a button, there's not a word that means wisdom, right? Not as far as I know. I looked through the final exam. I looked through all the notepads. The worksheets. I didn't see anything. Through lantern light in shadows past. So my guess is that this one is number 4. I think this is probably number 4. I can't use yellow because you can't use a different color because I want to use yellow, but if I use yellow, then it looks like I'm saying the answer is yellow. Okay. So here's what I need to do, unfortunately. I need to call it an episode here. And I don't like doing that, but I need to call it an episode here. I am at war with myself right now because I canceled everything that I was going to do today so that I could devote all of my available brain power today to trying to solve this, and I didn't get there. And now we have new information. The problem is the new information is arriving at my brain. The new information airplane is landing at a terminal, my brain, which is toast. I feel a little cross-eyed looking at all this text right now. So I need to do the best thing you can do in a puzzle game, which is set it down and come back to it. So we're going to have to end it. I hate to do that to you, but I'm so sorry. We're going to have to end it on this moment right now. And the reveal that Through Lantern Light contains 4 unique colors. And we will be back soon with another episode. You know what we could do? Okay, I have an idea. This episode comes out on Thursday. Normally, you would have to wait until Tuesday for the next episode. Here's my promise to you. On Saturday at 8 a.m., so 2 days from now, I will release a Blueprints video. I don't know that it'll be super long because I don't know how much time I'll have, but I'll release a Blueprints video thinking through this a little bit more, thinking about the idea. If there are four colors, that changes the calculus on what a path might be. Do I want to do a path? I don't know. But 4 changes, the equation has shifted. And if the equation has shifted, then my thinking should shift too. So more of this coming on Saturday. I don't know how long of an episode we'll have on Saturday, but Saturday at 8 a.m., you can expect another episode. I have to, unfortunately, call it right there. I have neglected so many other parts of my life today. And I don't regret it. I started today with the idea of Yena, rain, the statue inside of the house, and I end it with a lot of other ideas that have happened along the way. Maybe it's Hugh as in house. Maybe I have a better understanding of a million different things that I noticed in my notes. I don't know. You watched it. You watched it all happen. But and we end with the idea that there are 4 instead of 3. So I'll keep turning this over in my brain, and we'll be back on Saturday for more blueprints. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to leave a like, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, bye. Thank you, Discord, so much for the help. I appreciate the hints. I will engage with them further. My guess is I will engage with them further before too long. Thank you so much for your help. Bye.